What's Gucci gang? I don't never get tired of that intro, that beat.
Bob my head every time.
Bro, it's so damn sick. Welcome everybody. This is episode 38 of the Longhouse Podcast, where you can catch us live on YouTube or anywhere that you play podcasts at. We on there. Thanks to a lovely app called Buzzsprout. We not sponsored. Not yet.
I was about to say, but if you could.
We here. Yeah. We're here to take the bag. So, as y'all can see, we got two of my favorite people in the space. And one's the first timer on here. Welcome to the gang, Mr. Kahlief Adams.
Fam, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here rocking with y'all. There's some beautiful melanin in the room, as always, making it happen for all of us in the space. So thank you so much for having me. Let me rock.
Yeah, no problem, man. And Asante, my favorite black tech guru is in the building.
Well, thank you.
Gaming Circle Podcast. Hey, listen, if you have questions about what's X8, what's X84, X86, or blah blah blah, or ARM, he's your guy.
Who do you want to beat up on about 30 frames? Come at me.
Oh man,
I appreciate being here, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, man. There's been a lot going on this week, man. So I'm going to hit the tunes, and we're going to talk about. This is my favorite part of the whole podcast. You know, turn the headphones down a little bit, because you're going crazy. You hear that? You hear that? You hear that, Kai? Okay, Asante, you hear that? Hey, what we talking about, baby? We got Dead Space 2 might be on ice. We don't know. We're gonna talk about it a little bit. I love me some Dead Space 2. And then we got Microsoft, Xbox is cooking up the UI. New features for the cloud. New UI for the cloud. I'm excited. They're going full steam ahead, baby. Full steam. And then we're gonna have some grown folk talk. We're gonna talk about all this foolishness going on in the social. This girl's ugly. Oh my God, it's ruining gaming. And this all comes from people with anime PFPs. It's crazy. I cannot stand it. Stellar yams, yes. It looks good. It's nice, okay? But it's not your girlfriend. It's not. We're going to talk about all of that. And you know what? I look far and wide. I was asking everybody. Is there any, like, Jez Gordon, Tom Warren, Tom Henderson that are of my color? Because I don't see none. Where they at? I need black people reporting gaming news too. I need them working at Ford or Bloomberg, Windows Central. Where they at though? But we gonna talk about it. It's gonna be real grown folk talk up in here.
What?
I love that beat.
What's going? What's going? What? Go ahead.
How many white folks you had on the show and they were just lost on the beat? They were just like, this is awesome.
They were bobbing forward instead of bobbing back. You know?
One and seven, just hitting the hi-hats only.
Wow.
We starting the show off with a fucking bang. I love it already. Oh my God. And then Paris over here dropping. Look at that.
Oh,
already.
Lord.
That motherfucker can't cook. And
Wow.
if all of Black America depend on it, we're doomed.
It's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
I need to see y'all have a cook-off, Kai.
I mean, look, everything I make is glorious. This cat out there cooking rad roaches. I don't know what he talking about in the chat, but I know who's on point. It's all good.
Okay. All right, cool, man. So, how we start the show, we go around the room, we talk about what we've been playing, and I think I already know what everybody been watching. But go ahead and speak your bars, man. So, okay, Asante, I'll start with you. What you been playing and watching?
Oh, let's see. What have I been playing? I'm as you know from me, I'm always playing something. I always have a AAA and an indie combined in there somewhere. I'm a grazer, so I'm always dipping in and out of different things. I will mention Trinity Fusion. Been playing Trinity Fusion. The best way I can describe it's a Metroidvania. You've seen it. It's Dead Cells like, but basically it's as if I was convinced that like a AAA developer, like in between their big ass projects, like kind of decided to just do this passion project, and then it blew my mind to find out that only 4 people made the whole thing.
Wow.
Trinity Fusion. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It has like the story's amazing. If you know your Metroidvania Dead Cells style game, you know what to expect. You know, you have your weapons, you get more as you go. You know, you're building your arsenal, as it were, to traverse the world and all that. But yeah, it's such an amazing game. Like it's beautiful. It's one of those things where I should go back to Dragon's Dogma 2, but I'm still playing this for a while. You know, it's really good. It's really good. So cheap, you know, on Steam. I think it's like 17, 18 bucks. Came out last year, December. Mm-hmm. It is slept on. I'm sure when it comes to consoles, people will really like see it and appreciate it. But if you want them handheld gang out there, go seek that out. You know,
exactly it's again Trinity Fusion. You said
Trinity Fusion sips that TDP. You could play it at like 10 TDP. You can play it for like 5 hours. It's great. It's a small game, plays for a long time. Awesome game. Yeah. So there's that. I was gonna say that the show that everybody else is watching, but you know what? I'll tell the other show that everybody else is watching. X-Men 97. Okay. Mm-hmm. Go see that immediately, especially episode 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go see that immediately. Because if you don't, someone's going to spoil it for you, and it's going to be hard. This needs to be experienced firsthand. Oh, boy. I watch these in the morning. I drop my kid off at like 6 in the morning. So at 5, I'm up getting ready for work. I'm watching this thing on my phone, and I'm screaming, almost waking up the whole damn house because that show, episode 5, boy, ooh, man. Anyway, I was arguing with Paris on Twitter because I need the next episode immediately. He expects me to wait till next week. Like, oh, come on. But yes, go watch that immediately. It's great.
That's awesome, man. What about you, Khalief, man? What you been playing and watching?
Ooh, playing Dragon's Dogma 2, of course, trying to finish up on that. Rise of Ronin, still playing through that and trying to get through that. The kind of sleeper game that I've been playing of late has been Predecessor. Paragon Redux, basically. Playing a ton of that on PlayStation. Getting mad at everybody for not understanding how to push a lane. I'm like, what are y'all doing out here in these MOBA streets? And in terms of viewing stuff, of course, NBA playoffs are about to start, so that's going to be big. WrestleMania this past weekend.
You're an LA fan, right?
No, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm from New York.
Okay.
It's been rough.
I heard it.
It's been rough. It's okay. It's okay.
I know. It's one of those times I can actually say it out loud without having to duck tomatoes getting thrown at your face.
Right.
I can say it now with pride again. WrestleMania was fantastic over the weekend, which was great.
I was listen, I had so much FOMO because I haven't watched wrestling in like 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? And I was listening to the play-by-play on it, and I was like, man, I need to get back and watch this shit. Then I saw the clips. Damn. It was fire.
Yeah.
It was fire.
It is really interesting because wrestling, I fell off too. Like, I fell off for about 7 to 8 years or so. And then got back into it in the past like 2 years. But I'm not one of the cats who's like sitting there watching every storyline and doing all that kind of stuff. But I did get in right around the time of the Bloodline storyline arc. And it has been just fantastic to continue to kind of like be a wrestling fan from when I was young, and then kind of seeing it in the ECW era where that was like my main time in the space, and when they were battling through WCW and WWE at the time. So it's been great to kind of come back to that. And then lastly, Netflix has the Neil Brennan special, a comedy special that just popped up. So Neil Brennan used to be one of the writers on Chappelle's Show.
Okay.
and he's just really smart. Like his version of comedy is just really, really well done. Like it's not one of those kind of like punching down things, but it does feel like paying attention to the space in a really good way, and being really witty about the jokes there. So I would say, if you partake in the medicinals, it's a lovely space to be in and watch a show like that.
Yeah.
And it was just really dope last night to go watch that and hang out and watch that with the missus. So it was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
You watch his podcast on YouTube?
No, but I heard it's really good. I've been meaning
it's
to
pretty good.
catch on it, but I heard it's really, really good for sure.
Do you see the production value of WWE go up like since Vince McMahon has left?
It's funny because the connection to and I think a lot of people catch it if you pay attention to it, but like the TKO deal with them merging with the UFC folks and kind of the sports entertainment folks on that end of it,
Yeah.
there are definitely some crossovers there. I know there has to be some connective tissue there between like what you're seeing on a UFC fight, just from the in-ring camera stuff that they've been doing, the way they've been telling stories, but they've leveled up on the production side in some new way that just feels really fresh. I think I remember the moment that happened. It was probably a couple of events before, but they did a shot that when Bad Bunny was wrestling for Damian Priest, I forgot which event it was, but they did this real dope drone shot that came through the entire arena, and I was like, oh man, like I've not seen perfection in that version of production in a while. But like everything hit. The way they zoomed in on Bunny when he was coming out, the crowd shot, and then the way they mic'd the crowd. Like I love stuff like that because those are things that get me real hyped to be able to see like how production works.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that level up has gotten real big over the past couple of years, and especially now with the TKO deal being for real, like they definitely leveled all that stuff up in a good way.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. I was telling everybody I might actually start watching, mostly because of Muscle Mommy. Y'all know who that is?
I saw you post that shit. I'll be lurking.
Muscle Mommy. All right, the scale. Before I go on a tangent about her,
He said, "Save me."
Scale. What you been playing and watching?
Been playing. I put the Dogma down for a little bit. I got kind of far. I'm like level 40. I was like, all right, let me chill on this for a sec, just because max and through it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I picked up Diablo. Not that that's a good
Okay.
transfer. so now I'm on my Diablo grind. I haven't played Diablo since the beta, so now I'm kind of excited. I'm really just grinding through and getting back to where I was during the beta, and then I'm gonna enjoy what's open up to me. So I got a lot of grinding to do on that. I've been playing Evil West. Pretty cool game.
Yeah,
Not
it
mad
is
at it so
cool.
far.
Yeah.
Not mad at Evil West right now, especially being on Game Pass. That's what I mean about Game Pass is like being able to try stuff like that is so good for me. It's like I will try the games. So I'm trying it. I'm not, like I said, it's kind of like God of War with guns a little bit. I know that's steep or high, however you want to put it, but yeah. So been playing that, Valorant, of course, and that's about it for what I've been playing. Been watching, that Fallout. I'm on episode 5. I ain't even gonna lie.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm on episode 5 for sure. And other than that, before that, I was watching my Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm almost done, man. I love it's one of the funniest shows ever made, man. I don't care what anybody says. That show is so funny. But yeah, that's about it.
That's dope. What about you, Nova?
What I've been watching is a little bit of Fallout. I just finished episode 1. It's already amazing, man. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to wait for episode 2. I might start that right after this. To be honest. No, that's heat right now. Trying to catch up with some Foundation season 2. Still watching that. Yeah, love that show, man. What I've been playing, I played a little bit of the Ascendant.com. I don't know if I got a chance to talk about that on here, but I played a little bit of that. It was kind of like the finals, kind of flavorish.
Yeah.
But played Overwatch 2, a little bit of Evil West, just like Skellington. Same reason, because I was on Game Pass and I saw people in chat talking about how good of a game it was, and I was like, it's free, just download it and play. So I've been enjoying that a lot, man. That game is actually pretty cool. I like the quips and the talking, the dialogue between the characters and the cutscenes.
They be wilding out.
They be wilding.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. And then also played a little bit of last but not least, Super Space Club, man. I didn't get a chance to to let the audience know that I did play that, but pretty solid game, man. I saw the brother was on here yesterday too. So I mean not yesterday, but Tuesday. So
yeah, shout out to Graham Reed, man.
Yeah.
Love the music, man. I don't care.
People too.
Yeah, man, he's super cool. He gave me a long list of people to try to get on the show, man. Like a long list.
That's good.
I was like, that's cool, man. I have been watching, of course, Fallout. I'm on episode 4 now, so I'll probably be on episode 7 tomorrow.
I feel it.
It's gonna be a late night.
Always. And then I've been playing Super Space Club, and I've been playing another game that you guys won't find out until tomorrow. So
well, all right.
No.
Oh, somebody said my mic is low again. Jesus. How's that? I think I should be good. Okay. So yeah, I'll put my preview impressions out tomorrow morning on both YouTube community, our page, and on Twitter. So be on the lookout for that. But guys, we have to first of all, for Fallout, that intro is probably the most lit intro I have ever seen. Listen, the whole production value of this whole thing. I will let y'all get y'all's bars off of y'all's first impressions first, but I'll go after y'all because y'all probably say the same shit I'm about to say. But Nova, what was your first impressions, man?
Bro, and I'm gonna do my best to not spoil nothing. So. Man, the show, I like how the production value of the show, it looks so great, but the show itself for me doesn't really, it's like it gets you engaged and it gets you immersed, and then it kind of like doesn't take itself seriously, right? And then it does some wild stuff, and you just like, oh, okay, this is where we at, you know? And it just that loop just keeps going throughout the show. And I think it's pretty dope, man. We got a strong, protagonist, woman lead character too. She's dope.
Yeah, Lucy's dope. Yep.
Yeah. So I like how they introduce some of the characters throughout the show, or they do introductions and stuff like that. And I'm just gonna say I'm just leave it at that because I feel like I'm getting too close to spoils. So great show. If you haven't watched it yet, check out episode 1. You know what I mean? Once you pop, you probably ain't gonna be able to stop. It's like his heat.
Yeah. What about you, Skell?
Man, it's sweet. But the first impressions, I'll just say for the people who have never played Fallout games and then they get to watch this and then go play Fallout are so lucky, bro.
People.
Yes.
You're so lucky, bro. I'm just seeing so much stuff to where it's like, wow, that's so accurate. I'm just like the accuracy is just on point. So it's hard for me now. I don't want to say too much without getting into spoiler territory or anything, but I will say that they do have the blueprint because the Fallouts are just they're made for shows like this. They can keep this going for a long time, have various storylines. But so far I'll say they're starting off great. I think they already got renewed for season 2 because people are already and all the episodes are out, and I love that. I love that. So that's my first kind of takes on them.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Adams?
I mean, I'm so happy that we get another good game adaptation on TV.
Yes.
I won't talk too deeply into it because I've seen the whole thing at this point. But the thing I came away with initially after that first scene was like, shout out to the costume and prop team.
For sure.
Yes.
Because like I've never watched the show and was like, man, can y'all sell that? Can you sell that too? Like, can you put that in a store somewhere so I can cop one of those things? Mm-hmm. And it's like that across everything you see in the initial episode and then the concurrent ones after that. But like, man, that team, they did their homework in terms of nailing the aesthetic. They have fully incorporated that into this game. I mean, into this show. and like
I
Scales
saw a
was
lot
talking
of these.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I was like, man.
Right.
I was like, damn. I was like, I want one of those too for the crib. So it's like, yeah, it was cool to be able to see all that stuff and be like, man, I just want all of these things. Like, whenever that show stops, those props, people are gonna be buying the heck out of those things.
Oh, yeah,
those things
definitely.
are going
Yeah.
auction.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
for sure.
To speak to that too, man. Like I said earlier, I didn't really play the games like that. I kind of saw them in passing. I saw it was a great game, highly regarded game, and I was even recognizing a lot of the stuff in the show. That's how well that they did. Everything in there, the post, like everything, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's great.
There's gonna be a lot of Easter eggs that we're all missing. I can't wait to go back and watch like new rock stars and stuff like that, and just see all the Easter eggs I missed. It's really well done. They put the small details are chef's kiss.
Yeah. What about you, Kay?
So this should tell you how much I really dig you guys. Because of y'all, wifey can only watch episode 1 because we've only seen episode 1. We're watching it together. So episode 2 will be promptly either after this or tomorrow. But yes, episode 1 made a really big impression. Now, she is not a gamer at all. Usually if we watch something that's gamer adjacent, I have to do some explaining, but I was told that, this is a complete picture. Don't even go in, like, don't present any information, let the viewer watch. She's hooked. That gives you a sense of the quality of material you're watching. Strong impression, very strong. I mean, I agree with what everybody has said here. The attention to detail is just off the chart. I won't say any more than that. I heard people throwing even more slander at Halo. I'm like, oh,
They were, man.
Why?
Slander. I enjoyed season 2 of Halo, but this sets a new standard as to, hey, it seems like well, not all, but it seems like most of these adaptations seem to enjoy the fact that they were games, but then put them in a corner so they can rewrite them for shows. And this did not do that. I feel like God Howard was just off frame going, no, you got to do it this way.
Yeah,
it was very well done. Absolutely. One bit of thing that I will say, they also have done very well in the cross promotion. You see, on gaming Twitch, you got every version available. You can download it for free right now everywhere. They got you were talking about the swag and the drip. There's a Fallout store right there. You hit the button, you're already playing. You're buying props right now. Now, I will give Halo that smoke. Where the hell's my Master Chief cross promotions in that way? These guys are hitting it out the park,
bruh. They had it lined up so fucking well.
Yeah.
Like today, there was just a bunch of the show's was out last night, and then before I know it, we're getting updates for Fallout 4. As far as it being up to modern consoles or whatever, 60 frames per second, the whole 9. And then you have Fallout 76. You could play for free this weekend or today,
right now,
until I don't know, the 20 something or whatever. But they had all these things lined up right out, and then we got none of that from Halo. I was like, come on, man. They could have had DLC for the campaign or something, but I don't know. Yeah,
it is, bro.
It is. I want to give a shout out to the cast, because from what I've seen so far, even the extras or the ones that are playing very small roles,
killing it,
have been knocking it out of the
all
park.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yep.
They are on their big one, man. Walton Goggins, of course, as the Ghoul, bro. He's
killing
it.
Killing it.
Ella as Lucy, she's been killing it. I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen Aaron Moulton in it. Is it Moulton? Aaron Moulton. Yeah. I've never seen him in anything, but
Who does he play?
Maximus.
He's killing it too. I like how his story's unfolding. For sure.
His emotional scenes, bro, are top tier.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
agreed.
I haven't seen Michael Emerson in anything since Lost, I think.
Man, bro, that baby spoil it, bro. I loved that seeing him. I was like, where do I know him from? I was like, that's the guy. That's the guy. I love Lost, man. That's one of my favorite shows of all time. I'm not even joking. for real.
Yeah. And then when I saw my boy Zach Cherry in it, because he's from Severance, and I love anybody who's in that goddamn show.
Oh,
That's like my favorite
Yep.
show.
Yeah.
Zach Cherry is in it, and I was like, even like his role is small right now from what I've seen. Like, I just like him being in shows, bro. Like, I love him, man.
I said that same thing when I saw him. I was like, oh, that's a dude from Severance. I really liked him from that. Yeah, definitely.
The little brother is killing shit too.
Yes.
He's doing really well.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. Moises? I don't know.
It looked like Moises. I had
Moises. Yeah, Norm. I think Norm is his name in the show. But yeah, he's killing it too. God, I can't get enough of it. And then shout out to Bethesda for lining everything up so brilliantly with the cross promotion, like Asante said, man. Like, cause that's how it's supposed to be done, man. Like, even like whenever Edge Runners came out, right? Like, people hopped right back onto Cyberpunk.
That's true. That had great promotion. Like, yeah.
I think what's name was a little bit off, but how big was the separation between Last of Us HBO series and the remaster?
About a month or two.
Yeah. I feel like they could have tightened that up a little bit and probably would have done better. But Bethesda, whoever's their marketing team and God Howard, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know what they're doing. Yeah, like for real, for real. So people take notes. 343 for when Halo 3 Season 3 drops.
I just feel like Halo is just much more difficult to make into a show as well. I think Fallout just has such a good blueprint. Like, it literally, it goes on the film itself, damn near. Halo, you have to do a lot of CG, a lot of stuff. You're in space. You got Spartans. Like, it's just a lot. But
you got the Covenant, the Flood.
The whole
no spoilers, but Season 2, they got there.
They
got there.
It's just gonna cost though. You know what I mean? You gotta
that's just me giving props to Halo for being so good, achieving what they could. It's very accurate. Like, I loved hearing the shields boost back up and stuff, man. And I was just like, ooh, it was good.
Breaking news in terms of gear. Because I was like, well, we're talking about all the gear that they've been putting out with the cross motion, and I just went onto GameSpot and they had a whole bunch of stuff. If you have the sugars or are looking to get the sugars, diabetes that is, for all the people who aren't, who don't know what that is. Arizona Iced Tea is doing a Fallout line of drinks as well. They have Georgia Peach, Pomegranate, Red Apple with wild stuff that they cross promotion stuff.
Grubhub had a burger that had a Fallout logo on it. I'm just
what?
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I need that new cola, man. I need that new cola.
Yes, it sells itself. Where's the new cola?
Yeah.
Indeed.
I agree.
No, that's great. Make sure they're in glass bottles only.
Yeah,
that's right. No plastics.
That'll be so hilarious if they actually did that, and then people started using those caps as currency for other stuff.
That would be great. Don't start. I ain't trying to be in the wasteland, you know what I'm saying?
Strip club gonna look real different.
Throwing caps.
Somebody getting put out.
Oh shit, man. Before we get to the first topic, I have a super chat right here. Adidas 20 with the 5. Hey man, appreciate you. You showed up early, dropped a 5. Thanks so much for that, bro. He says, let's go. And then of course, Paris. Learn how to cook in the wasteland.
How do people let him on YouTube?
Some of that ass jerk.
Who? I mean, if you wanted to describe how Paris's food tastes,
that wouldn't be.
You made it easy.
All right, you made it.
That made it easy.
Oh my God, man! So our first topic, I think Nova, this is your topic. Going into the Microsoft stuff. So set us up.
Yes, sir. So lately, Microsoft/Xbox decided to give a quality of life boost to the people that's out there enjoying xCloud right now. So right now, I think you have to be inside of the insider program to be able to do that. It's in beta right now, so it's not. You may be able to see it. Everybody may be able to see it in the next few months, depending on when it's going to be released. So now they added new functionality. So when you press the guide button, when you're inside of streaming, it now brings up a different interface. And now you can actually maintain the ability to chat when you're changing games. Because from what I've read, it said that when you would end a game, it would also end your chat session and stuff like that. So they're trying to give the Xbox feel to Xbox Cloud as a whole, it seems like. So first off, I'm going to go to you, Kay. How do you feel about this new addition for the future for xCloud?
I mean, I'm gonna get real messy eventually because y'all gonna have to call me Negro Damas. I predicted all of this.
Talk your shit.
It's fine. No, I believe that this is the future we're heading to. You know what I mean? They're gonna unify. Everything's gonna look exactly the same. Places where they can control the UI, they will. Places they can't control the UI, there's a web browser or an app that simulates it. It will be unified across the board to give you that seamless experience. I mean, Phil Spencer said that he was clowning his own games, talking about how he couldn't Fallout 76 cloud saves and all of this. You know what I mean? Like there's a place where it's just one unified UI, right? And I've been lucky enough to be part of the insider program for a while, so I turned it on a couple of days ago and it was there, and it is beautiful. It is glorious. You are absolutely right, Nova. Back in the day, every time you're in a game, you hit the guide button. It shows up like a very dumbed down version of the guide, and you could talk to people, whatnot. But the moment you quit your game, there goes the whole interface, and you're back to outside. Now you can quit the game, and you're still looking at your UI, just like an Xbox, right? You can get in there, do all the Xbox stuff you would normally do, talk to people, start a chat, all this, and switch between games, just like you would if you were staying at sitting in front of your console. So I think it's exciting. Y'all will get me out of bed when you bring that interface to something like this. Because that's what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they will. I know it. They will eventually. They're dragging their feet, but eventually that will be here. It will be on your big PC. It will be everywhere you need it to be. And that's the world I'm waiting for. I'm super excited for it.
Okay. That's good, man. Because I'm pretty excited for it myself, man. So, Kyle, how do you feel about it? This came out of nowhere, it seems like, for me. Were you seeing this coming, and how do you feel?
I mean, yeah, I'm in the insider program, so you get little smatterings of information about things kind of moving here and there. But for me, like, to speak towards to piggyback off of what Asante said, like, this is a thing that is sorely needed for the mobile device world, like, in a real way. Like, this needs to be I mean, you know, shout out to Paris, who's also in the chat, who talked about, you know, wanting to see some of these integrations kind of move. For me, I'm really like, I think all of the UI needs an overhaul in a real way. Like I'm waiting for that moment to happen.
Step away from Metro. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Sweet baby Jesus. They need to figure it out. I love what they've been trying to do. You see little smatterings of things here and there, but like I'm waiting for the big overhaul. And hoping that comes soon. But this is great. I think a lot of folks who have been in the cloud space and on the mobile space, we all know the desktop app has not been great, and that's getting some revamps too. Yeah. But now this needs, you know, to be the thing that moves them forward. So I'm hoping this is the beginning of what we get a chance to see for the new UI that will probably come with the next console or something like that.
Yeah, if you could choose anybody's UI that's out there right now for Xbox to mimic, whose would it be the closest to?
Ooh, I mean, I think everybody's just kind of ass right now.
I was like, I don't know if I really like anyone's.
I've been dying for Sony to revamp their stuff for a while. Like even Steam Big Picture, which is supposed to be that kind of hybrid, still feels old and antiquated. You know, like I want the Minority Report version of what we were promised as the all-encompassing, give you something that's really tactile and feels dope. It makes you feel like the experience you have is premium. That's the thing that right now is missing. Everything feels old. And that part, I'm wishing it would be different. So hopefully soon.
Remember how during the Metro days they tried to give you the perception of customization? You can move this here, move this there, but it all ended up looking the same. Yes. In the world we live in today, the DIY space has far more capabilities than the official offerings. both on PlayStation, Xbox, all that. If my tinkering with Play Night could look better than the Xbox's UI, that's a problem. Like y'all need to like learn from them. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me a
That's
couple
a fact.
hours and mine looks better than yours. That's a problem. You guys should be doing better. You know what I mean? So
Somebody
got a
has to have a
question.
Figma account.
you know? Exactly, sir. That's right.
So we are still in like the land of the remakes and the rehashes. Would you fellas be hype if they did bring back the blades?
Oh, bro. Oh man. Wow.
Because y'all said y'all want the
That's
new
deep cut.
hotness, but the blades,
That'd be
everybody
great.
knows.
Damn.
I love those blades. Actually, you know what? Like, if you play with Play Night and a few of those DIY open source software, you could mimic the blades on like a handheld right now. Like, as much as I hate to say it, they were right to move away from it, because once you have a lot of content, it gets really unwieldy. You know, if you have pages and pages and pages, that means many blades, or you scroll down and it breaks the blade idea. You know what I mean? So maybe take that energy and modernize it. But yeah, I loved some of the stuff they used to do when you know, even in the middle of a console generation, bam, new coat of paint, now all of a sudden everything is like fresh again. Let's just say that the UI that we've come to know and loathe is getting a little long in the tooth. It's time to do some upgrades, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, so we may need a Blades Plus. What do you think, Skell? Do you think that that you would like an old school Xbox Blades UI, or how do you feel about these UI updates that's coming out?
As far as what I would want on the UI, and this is just going for like a handheld type of thing, I guess. I think I love the blades, to be really honest. I love just a system having its own type of UI. Unfortunately, I was at Best Buy recently and I was messing with one of the handhelds and stuff, and their UI at the bottom, I don't remember, they had like water and it reflected off of the water like that. I don't remember which handheld it was, but I thought that was really cool, even though it was kind of laggy at times. Really cool though. But I was like, you know, something like that, I want it, you could even like the Wii interface, you know what I'm saying? That UI, like Wii original, I like that UI. I just need it to feel like its own separate thing. I'm over the PS4 era UI. I'm over the Xbox One era UI, since we've been on that for this long. It's like, bro, that's why when we get these new consoles, it always makes me mad when the UI is not different. I'm like, bro, this is just
because you're looking for that new experience.
Exactly. It was just like going from Xbox, getting that when it booted up on the regular Xbox, and then you get on 360, and it's like, mwah. I'm like, ooh, you know, it's like it makes you feel better about buying something in the new generation. So when you buy, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's like buying a new car and getting the same infotainment system. It's just a bit
exactly, and that's pretty much my point. Is like I want it to feel. So as far as the handheld goes, you know what? I would be cool with the blades. You can make it go back, give it the blades, give it the hurt to make it run smooth, and I'd be fine with that as long as it's only on the handheld. You know what I mean? So, and as far as just the cloud thing, kudos. It's cool. It's forward movement. There's nothing wrong with this. I've been playing around with the cloud a little bit since that the Lego 2K drive. I've been messing with that, and I have to play it on cloud. So I was like, I've been, you know, testing the waters with that, and I like what's happening. And giving it its own UI will give cloud, even how when you're on cloud, when the rocket ship passes by, it's like, even that is like, I like that stuff. It's like gives it its own little ID. Yeah. So I need all that on the hand. Just keep it going from there, essentially.
All right. Yeah, man. So he's digging the progression of it as well. What do you think about it, Black Viking?
On the cloud stuff, I think that Asante is a Negro Domus, 100%.
He knew.
Ever since I've known
I'm gonna wear that hat, bro. I'm gonna wear that hat.
He has known, man. And I think we're seeing so many updates so fast when it comes to UI and all this talk about ARM and handhelds and stuff. I think they're going full speed ahead when it comes to making it reality for the handheld and having a sleek UI and a console experience on the handheld, plus opening it up to third-party hardware manufacturers like the ROG, like MSI, like Lenovo, so that if you do want a beefier handheld or whatnot, then yes, you can still have the console experience with a few more extra steps, I guess. But it's a great strategy, man. I think it's super fucking cool. And I'm in the insider program, but I need to boot it up and see what it looks like. To give it a fair shake and have more to say about it. But as far as UI goes, I wish it could be, man, I don't know what the solution is for the UI, because just like Khalief said, they're all kind of ass. Right? That's why I asked, because I was like, yo, what's a good UI? Because they all just feel so dated. You know,
maybe the Switch UI is all right, but that's only because they cater to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's and there's not much you can do on the Switch too, so it's just a more simplistic version of the consoles that we have, like in our living rooms. So I don't know what the solution is, but I think it was kind of a fumble not to release a new UI switching from the Xbox One to the Series, because it didn't feel like a new product. Like, not even new sounds, man. You could have gave me something a little different, like
could have had, like some hip hop in the background. That would have been
something,
dope,
man.
Put Dylon on it. Put good Dylon on it.
Dylon. She spit hot fire.
Yeah, man.
All of the blades.
But I would like to see an option to where it's fully customizable, like you guys were talking about. Like give us the option to make it look like just like everybody's desktop in the world looks different, like on their PC, right? Like give us the option to do something like that, but from a console standpoint. So and then like make it transferable to where I boot up. Cause that's why I like Xbox so much. The whole play anywhere shit. Like go from my console to my PC, and I want it to look just the same.
And that's doable. I feel like if you can say, I was about to say, they can save cloud profiles for that, maybe.
Yeah. The same profile. But that's my thoughts on that. What about you, Nova?
Man, I think that maybe what we're experiencing, man, because now in 2024, it's like everybody's kind of trying to jockey for your attention. So they're trying to like gas some of these UIs up to kind of give you entertainment at the same time. Also, you can go to the next tab and it's just jam packed full of stuff. PlayStation 5 is really bad about that. I just feel bombarded by content everywhere I go, at the same time. So I don't know what the fix for the UI is, since we have so many different games. Like, you can watch games, you can watch streams, you can do pretty much everything on these consoles nowadays. So it's just they're just trying to fit all of this stuff in one area. So the UI is hard, man. It's hard to figure out.
They may need to get Apple involved, man. I think when Apple gets their console, whatever they do, they will have the cleanest UI.
They keep everything simple, man.
It just works. All of it.
They're gonna have a console now. They just don't want to call it that.
The Apple TV.
Vision. Oh, the TV.
They've made games that are exclusive to it. You connect your controller, it works with it. You can even capture the screen. Everborn insisted I play the Sonic game that's only available there. They kind of got an Xbox. They got a console, right? Kind of secretly a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Good call.
Okay. Does that work on the app too? I don't. Do they have
yes,
like
it does? Yeah. It works on that. Yeah.
Cool.
But that's all I have. Like,
that's all you had. Okay. Let me get some of these super chats really quick. Yes, that was me. I gifted 5. You're welcome. I don't have to blow my own horn for that. That would be ridiculous. Lotus Esprit gifted 1 membership. Shout out to you. For real. They always come in here and show much love, man. So I appreciate that.
Always blessing us.
And then, this username is ridiculous. Guzzling King David's Glizzy says, make sure not to eat Paris Lily's cooking before sitting down to watch the Fallout show, because you'll end up in the bathroom the whole time.
Damn.
Some slander there. Hey, thanks for the 5. For those of you just now watching us or haven't watched us before, just so y'all know, every single donation, super chat, super thanks, super sticker, the money that we get from views all goes to the our local Boys and Girls Club. At December 5th, I think is when we stop. So all year, baby, we working for free. So we'll buy them like gaming stuff and all kinds of gaming stuff. Some swag too.
That's side.
Yeah. So it'd be cool. And then Adidas 20 with the 5. Sony had a nice run. It's over now.
Hey, like over, huh? Just like that.
He said, "Pack it up."
It's over.
Adidas 20 with the slander, baby.
Damn.
I love it.
I'm hearing Stellar Blade is good though.
Yeah.
I can't.
Stellar cheeks, baby.
And cheeks,
Stellar
man.
cheeks.
Now that's a good segue to our next topic, Mr. Kahlief Adams. Let me break it down. I'm about to blow your horn a little bit.
All
You
right,
know,
do it.
pause or whatever.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
No diddy.
All right.
No titty. Oh shit.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
Oh God. Good God.
Huge.
You didn't have to do that, young sir.
I ain't say nothing.
What do I have to do for the Kahlief Adams gives 100. He says for the kids. My brother.
Indeed.
Now I really do have to blow a horn, Khalief.
I'm the anti Michael Jordan.
I don't know.
Here you go.
Here we go.
Oh, you got the for real horn.
Oh, you gonna blow the horn. Let's go.
I forgot about the horn.
All right, here we go.
Nice.
Somebody said 5 horns. Y'all can fuck off. Good sir. Thank you so much. That's
beautiful.
You.
I love the fact y'all doing that. That's dope.
Thank you. Now let me talk about this man really quick. In case y'all don't know who Kahlief Adams is, he is the host and CEO of Spawn on Me podcast. And they do a lot of stuff. They just had, was it your second annual award show?
Our third annual award show.
Third annual award
Yeah.
show. Really nice presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
Super dope. But he's also worked for Intel Corporation as DEI outreach, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's also was a DEI program manager at Riot Games, senior community manager at Firewalk Studios, all while still running his own business at Spawn on Me.
Nice.
Doing his big one. I'm proud of you, Chief.
For sure.
Thank you, fam. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And the reason why we're going to talk about DEI today, I used to work DEI for about 1.5 years, 2 years for the Air Force. And I don't think people know what the fuck that means. Like, right? Like, I don't think people understand at all what it means. So, a lot of the misconceptions that we see online about what DEI is for the gaming industry, what has been your experience with working for some of these companies and kind of what you did as a DEI consultant, I guess, or somebody who worked as a DEI program manager?
Yeah, so at Intel, I was in the VR and gaming vertical of the gaming business. So it's like, you think of what Intel usually is known for, chips, hardware, all that kind of stuff. But in the gaming space, I was often asked a lot of, what do we kind of do in the space to kind of connect with other audiences in that gaming vertical. And it was funny because in one of my first jobs, or one of my first moments at Intel, we had this big, you have your orientation and people, they say what's up to you and all this kind of stuff. And they had some C-suite folks in there who were like, ingratiating themselves to everybody in the space. And they were like, hey, Mr. Adams, Khalief, how are you doing? what's one of the things that, you would love to see Intel do, better with in the future? And I was like, y'all should start promoting your concepts and your hardware and your merchandise to black people. And the face was like, you saw Scooby-Doo face happen?
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean by that? We're like a multi-billion-dollar company, multinational company. We sell to everybody. I was like, I don't see that in our marketing. I was like, I see a lot of young blonde white women and a lot of young white dudes who are on the keyboards and all that kind of stuff. So it winds up being a lot of different things. That wasn't a main part of my role at Intel. It was a kind of tertiary thing that I would level up and talk about while I was there, because gaming is the thing I love, and I want to make sure that we get seen in all those places. At Riot, that was very, very different. So we had a whole department that was basically the in-between from the development layer and the C-suite. And we were often folks who would get a lot of different asks from the company. So it would be sensitivity checks about, do our characters and do our games really connect with the audiences, with the characters that we're building? Are we doing that authentically? Are we doing that smartly? Are we doing that in a way that is really, connecting to those audiences and those ethnicities and backgrounds, while also being a part of the buffer between our employee resource groups, or ERGs, right? Noir, right? Unidos. There was a couple other ones that were in there. One's for LGBTQ folks in there. And how do we, again, make sure that we are doing the work of making sure every game that you play, Valorant, League, all that stuff, characters feel authentic in those ways. And then I would do consultancy work outside of that. That was like, hey, Kahlief, come in and talk to me about why we should market to black people. And I was like, because we have money.
Right.
We're not different than anybody else. We're doing the same things that everybody else does, but people don't talk to us. They talk at us a lot.
Right. Yeah.
It's like at our groups a lot. They kind of pander to our groups a lot, but they don't actually like take the time to market to us in a way that makes sense. We all know in the conversations that we've had that black folks, brown folks, our community are some of the most, we spend a lot of our discretionary money in a lot of the things that we love, in entertainment, in sports, and all the things that we care about as pastimes. But also, like, we as a block of human beings who have monetary value in the greater ecosystem of capitalism and of, the ways we think about how we spend, like, we're first movers in every space, especially technology spaces.
Yes.
We are the ones who make everything hot all the time, because we're the first ones to be like, yo, what is this about? Let's go check this thing out, all this kind of stuff. So there's various things that I got a chance to do in those jobs. And then Firewalk was, as a community manager, you're just always like trying to figure out best ways to make sure that we are, again, seen when these conversations are happening around games and around the media and all those pieces. So a lot of different hats to wear, and love getting a chance to wear all of them, because I try to do my best to represent a sliver of blackness in the places that we don't get a chance to be seen. So,
right. Because that's got to be hard, right, Khalief? Because, like, we know that black people aren't a monolith, right? So, like, in order to, like, for a fact what would 100% offend black people, right? But it'll be difficult to know exactly how black people will respond to a certain product, and what part of blackness, I guess, of our culture should be inserted in certain products. But man, that's good work though, man. Like it is 100% needed. I don't know if you saw, I had a viral tweet about the Killmonger haircut a while ago. Like stuff like, how does nobody see that? Like,
well, I think they do though. Like, I think it's the thing, right? Like, in the conversations that we've seen over the past couple of weeks around, I don't know if we're going to talk specifically about Gamergate, but like, the ideas that we see move in these spaces, the problem winds up being is like, there are a lot of folks who made some good noise in those companies, to get Killmonger haircut into games at all. Like we remember
Right.
how many years ago when the only haircut you got was a Caesar, a baldy, and
Bro.
and
Or the
raggedy dreads.
stereotypical cornrows.
Yeah, cornrows and raggedy dreads, right? You got
Yeah.
got four hairstyles out of
Yes.
the millions of permutations of hairstyles, and then the Killmonger one got some love and became a thing that then translated into all the other spaces. The problem with the gaming industry and with mass media is once you get a thing that then becomes easy to duplicate, everyone does that because it's easy. So it winds up being that thing of it winds up being this weird, like we got the diversity layer in here, but because we don't get to make those decisions at the top to say, well, yeah, here's some twists and here's some Bantu knots and here's some other joints. Like here's things. You wind up getting the easiest thing that is to kind of make, and that then proliferates, and that's how you wind up moving the space a little bit differently. So
Right.
it sucks because now this is all we got right now. But that took time to get there, and then once you get past it, then you need to kind of like build the case for culture in that larger space. So yeah, it's hard, but we keep moving.
I was cool with Phoenix having it. I think that was the last Killmonger I was cool with. It was Phoenix. From Valorant. I was like, all right. He kind of cool.
Yeah.
He
It's
kind of cool.
Echo and Phoenix, bro. Like
Echo.
I was gonna say, like we can give and take whatever we can and we do adjudicate whoever comes in the space, but historically, like Riot has been on point with that stuff. They know what they were, and I'm not a League player. I'm not like my entrance into it was the show. And after that, I have been drinking deep of all the various Riot, and they are like so on point. Like I think of all the places, they probably deserve most of the credit. They've been doing excellent work in that space. Yeah,
that's one of my favorite studios, to be honest.
I think them and Apex do it very well, honestly.
Yeah, okay.
And to be fair, that was run by a black woman, right? So like that DEI layer was run by a black woman. So there were people who were paying attention and recruiting other folks like me to come in and other folks to be able to be like, we need more people who can see the space, right? So yeah.
Right. So with the whole, and it's kind of old news, but it's still fucking going on, and it's driving me nuts. With the whole Sweet Baby Inc. stuff. Nobody knew who the fuck they were when they made God of War, when they made Alan Wake, when they made all these games, and they don't even know that there's so many DEI consultants before them, and there's so many now, and there'll be so many after them, or whatever. Like you probably lived through Gamergate, the first one.
Yep.
I hate to call this 2.0.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Like, what's different about this? Like, to me, I think what's different is everything's a lot more politicized now. It's a lot more tribal in nature too. And I think
gotten dumber.
It has gotten dumber. Yes. But what's crazy is like some of those dumb talking points, like people gravitate towards that shit for some reason.
Yeah.
And whenever that content creator starts making it and they start getting more and more and more views, that's all the fuck they'll talk about. I had to unsub to a lot of people over this whole thing because that's all the like. Go start talking about games again.
That's what we're here for.
So what's been your reaction to this whole as Sweet Baby Inc. stuff, and how's it different this time in your opinion?
I mean, like I said, and I don't say that facetiously. It's gotten dumber. Like I think the thing that I tell people all the time is like people think of gamers as this separate thing, right? And gamers are just another part or another subset of the greater culture that we see outside of it, right? You see a lot of the same conversations around character models and race swapping and all this stuff happen in comics and TV, in movies, in mass media, and all these small pieces of entertainment that wind up getting conversation levels towards it. But gamers are just another layer of that big pie of that conversation. The difference is the way you wind up interacting with the people who are making that thing is very different. Like, gaming is very specific and special, and I think this is a thing that a lot of fans don't understand, and I think they fuck this up, is we as game players have the most and the closest connection to the people who are making the thing that we love than any other medium that we've seen, right? Like, if my car is broken down, I can't be like, yo, you a fuckhead Ford worker. Like, that doesn't work. Right. Like, that's not a thing that happens, right? But I can go and tell Todd Howard and be like, this is not me saying this for real, but like, yo, Todd Howard, all this shit is ass, right? I can say that to him because he's online, right? Like, those folks are there. He's not doing it because he ain't online. He's like, yo, get out of here, kids.
Yeah.
But the greater conversation around all of these pieces of faux oppression that we wind up seeing makes me laugh because it's not real. Like, none of it is real. None of the things that people are upset about actually are happening in ways that matter in a greater, bigger piece of changing the narrative around games. And the part that messes it up is, to be fair, there's a lot of folks who are having these conversations who have no knowledge about the process of making games. You see it in the YouTube space a lot, and then you see it on social media a lot. We have a lot of people who are really opinionated and really have this idea of what is happening, but couldn't tell you how consultancy works, or couldn't tell you, even in the conversation around Sweet Baby, of like, yes, those folks have put games that they've worked on their website to give themselves the spotlight that you do if you were any other company. But if you were to say, what's the intricacies of what does that mean? Most people who are beefing about it have literally no idea, but they're like, DEI is the devil, and DEI is the thing that's making everything bad. But most of these folks don't even know what DEI is, or they don't even understand the process of what that means. They don't even understand what CRT is, critical race theory. They don't understand.
They lose me when they say the word woke wrong, and they put a different meaning to it. Then I'm done. I don't even want to talk anymore. It's
Asante, it makes me want to throw things. I saw a prominent, well, not even prominent. I saw a person who was in the space who has gotten a lot of buzz of late around all of this stuff and has a lot of things to say. They didn't even know what AAVE was 3 weeks ago, and they at the top of the list talking about all this wild stuff. And I'm like, y'all are, again, the cultural competency is not there. The literacy about the way games are made is not there. And then you add into that conspiracy theory and people who are racist, and then you get this really nice stew of stupid. Right? You get this really good cacophony of dumb shit. And it doesn't make any sense, because none of those folks have any knowledge about any of the process, and they want to blurt out these things that they feel are talking points when they really aren't. So it has changed a little bit, because GG1 was really heavy on the misogyny layer. GG2 feels like it's way more on the racial ethnicity layer. So I think that's the main difference, but the underlying foundation is still stupid.
Still. I thought you were trying to say it's still the same. You said
it's still the same. It's still the same dumb shit.
Stupid. Yeah. It's crazy, because like, even when I asked that question, it was like, well, point to me what part of God of War, or what part of Spider-Man, or what part of Suicide Squad did Sweet Baby touch?
Right.
And just the bad parts that they think is bad. That's it. It's ridiculous.
Not the good stuff.
And I'll add this last quick point. I think one of the things that I keep coming back to is something that you kind of touched on earlier, Viking, which was, all of these things are not changing. If Gamergate did anything, it leveled up the idea of why diversity, inclusion, and equity is needed in the gaming space.
Important. Yeah.
Black and brown folks make up less than 5% of the industry in that way. White folks make up around 60% of the industry. Asian folks in that space probably make up like maybe 10 to 15%, probably even less than that. But like, and then Latin folks make up even a smaller piece of that as well. So it's like, people don't want to talk about the racial dynamics that is in that space. while also not understanding that like all the things that you supposedly are getting mad about, the things that people are upset, the way you got all these girls, all these women characters who were stronger than men, and all these ugly characters, and when you got Stella's medium ass over there, you got all this stuff. There are white people co-signing all of this. This is not a thing that we are having. We are not the decision makers in these conversations. We are additive to it. When we are building our own things, we have those things in mind when we're making games for our own for our own studios and all those kinds of conversations. But the conversation around DEI is not run by and not held by just, folks who are people of color or underrepresented folks. Yeah. There are white folks who are asking for those folks to come in and make their games better, make them more reflective of the audience that they know is there.
Yeah,
because that's the part that people keep missing. There was a comment in chat that was like, why don't we focus on gamers and not color? And I was like, do you not understand that we are all gamers?
Right.
I've been gaming since I was 4. I'm 45 now. Like, I've been playing games longer than most of these cats have been alive. So, like, not understanding that we are all a part of this thing and that we are all sharing space, and that idea that we can't do that because you thought a plot point was bad, that's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's real stupid.
That tends to then keep everything status quo, right? We have... in my space, we have had a harder time trying to address it, because when you try to address it, it goes left quickly, right? It goes left real quick, right? And then you just get angry for no reason. But needless to say, the reason why I have a hard time addressing this in this way, and you made the point so clear. It's like, for how long must the status quo stay status quo, and how long did it take before that status quo became that fine point that you guys hold up as the way it's done? It took a lot of years and a lot of fuckery to get there, right? And now they're at that place where they're perfect. And at any time, any new voices come in the room, they have to be also perfect or get this out of here. If that's the way we handle things, it will never change. It's basically a psyops to keep status quo.
Yes.
Yep. There will always be bad plots, whether it's an all white cast or an all black cast or all Hispanic cast. There will always be good stories, whether that's all black, all white, all Hispanic. But you don't get to say, well, you can do it, but only if it's good.
Right.
Because who gets a chance to say what's good at that point? You know what I mean? Good is relative. So you're never going to be able to make everybody happy. If you make somebody look good, they're going to be like, well, that's an unrealistic expectation of beauty for women. If you make them ugly, then they're like, that's not real. Nobody's that ugly. But it's just so strange that it's like things are not perfect in the world at all. So it's like when they get on the game, they're expecting perfection in every way, shape, or form. Also, not having as many ethnic people, which is kind of strange. It's like DE&I is very, very important. I don't know why you would, other than
you're cutting out a little bit, Nova.
Can you hear me?
All right,
cool. Much better.
Am I good now? Still cutting?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, but I think DE&I is very, very important, man. But people just don't want to see change, and back to Khalief's point at the beginning, I think that it's at the stupid level. Nobody really wants to delve deep and see why it's even a thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But that's my point.
Yeah, and there was that clip of, I forgot her name, the head of Sweet Baby Inc., where people was like, she's forcing them to. I was like, do you not know what pitching is like? Do you if the developers want something, they have to go ask their higher ups, right? The higher ups no, but you as a developer know that it's important, right? To if I'm making, Asante brought up Sucker Punch on one of his episodes. I'm making Sucker Punch, Ghost of Tsushima, and it's just a group of all white people, or let's say it was a group of all black people. It doesn't really fucking matter because the game's in Japan, right? And my higher ups say, no, you can't get a consultancy group. Yes, of course, I'm going to go run to marketing or PR and scare the shit out of them. Hey, because I'm a developer for this game, I don't want it to be messed up or for us to look bad because this goes on my resume.
And here's an interesting thing about that Kim Belair piece,
Kim Belair, that's her name.
Which goes back to the conversation about stupid. And it's because we are in a space where you don't read. Reading comprehension is in the toilet. Listening comprehension is in the toilet. And people love to have the hot take moment.
Yeah.
And laser focus on a piece of a conversation without looking at the full context of what was being said. Kim Belair, and we talked about this on the episode that I initially delved into this. The point she was trying to make was that, look, we understand how the internet works. If you're a studio who is trying to sell copies to everyone, because that's what everyone is trying to do. Yeah. No one is going out and being like, I want to sell to this very laser focused niche of a niche, right? What they're saying is, I understand that there are people who are paying attention. And if you don't want the smoke from the internet and you don't want the smoke from the community for saying you did a thing half-assed or you did a thing that was not necessarily going to be reflective of the people who, again, we're trying to make in these games,
right?
That's what you should scare them about. It's not scare them into adding diversity. It's a way of keeping you and the C-suite and our dev team, our community team, safe from the internet who's going to come for them. It is a backstop against all of those things to say, if we think about it in the beginning, we don't have to shoehorn it into the end.
Later, yep.
So it's not hard. It's just people want to make a point about a thing that doesn't exist and then dig deep and dig their heels into a thing without actually knowing. And that part is super frustrating. It's like you just got mad about a thing you didn't even know what you were talking about. So
right,
it is what it is.
So I'm gonna segue this a little bit. Did y'all have any additive comments about at least this part of the foolishness that's been going on?
Just give me the haircuts.
Pretty simple.
No doubt, right?
Oh, yes.
This ain't that hard.
It's not.
And so I want to segue into this. Just been pissing me off. This whole what a female looks like. It started with like Fable, and then there's a couple other games. But I knew, and there's so many grifters out there right now. There's somebody really not really prominent. What the fuck? But you know, everybody I think in this room kind of knows who he is. That used to work on WoW, I guess.
Yep.
A lot of people out there that are really, really milking this shit into like a culture war type of thing. And I knew it was bullshit as soon as I knew it was bullshit from the beginning. But now looking at it, the Star Wars Outlaws trailer just came out.
Oh boy.
Right? And now they're talking about it. But when the Star Wars Outlaws trailer dropped last year, nobody said a fucking word.
That's so strange.
Nope.
Nobody said a word. All these games that have come out previously, nobody's talked about any female. You're playing a game, bro.
Yeah.
I've never seen this many thirsty motherfuckers. Like for real though. Like on some keep it 100 shit. Like I just don't understand. And we see this across so many different things. We saw this when they tried to go back and try to come for Half-Life Alex at some point. It was like, oh, she doesn't look right in this new variation of a thing. And I'm like, are y'all really that hard up for this digital ass?
Right.
Like that's the thing that's bugging me out, because it is so many folks who don't want to say, this is stuff I need to beat off to, and I can't because it doesn't align with the things that I want it to align with. Just be honest about it. Because I've not looked at a character like, yes, there was some, like, people tried to come for me because I was talking about Lady Dimitrescu at some point, and I was talking about how she's like 7 foot tall, and it's dope to see tall women in games because that's not a thing that you ever really get a chance to see. You know what I mean? Like, that's a cool thing. We were talking about basketball, me and my fam, Andy Cortez, over Kind of Funny, and we were making fun of that. So they tried to pull that back because I called Stella Blade's ass medium, right? Again, it's not a thing about me not liking ass, or most people not liking ass. Most people in this room like a nice ass, whatever ass that may be, whatever permutation of ass you like. There's an ass for you.
100%.
But it's but it, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like the thing that I was trying to clown on was like, this is the thing that you are vying for. Like, this is the thing that you're worrying about. Of like, this character is built in a certain way that you need it to be the default for all of these other things. And for you to be that hyped about what is, an okay, but I don't understand it. Right? So it's like, that's a weird thing. I don't get the like need to feel like your thirst is the thing that is driving all of this stuff. Right. In a way that doesn't do anything for anyone, right? So it's just super, super weird.
Yeah, it's okay. I think it's okay to like it. Like, listen, I like me some Lady D. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I have no shame in that. Stellar cheeks, okay, very nice. Jiggle physics all over the place. I played the DOA games as a young man. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it never translated into everything needs to be that way. Right? Like, if people want to put people who look normal, I guess, like, then that's fine. I'm playing the game at the end of the day.
That's why I say I think it's a psyops to keep everything status quo. Because if you still look at it today, 99% of your content is exactly the way you've always wanted it to be. And it will continue to be this way, right? You want the cheeks, they're available to you. You want this, and then every once in a while, maybe there's some diversity or diversification of the status quo a little bit, right? Maybe there's a different voice that comes and speaks. Maybe there's a Tales of Kanzera, Zhao, shout out to Abubakar.
Shout out.
Right?
Shout out.
Maybe, but still 95, we'll say, % of your content is exactly status quo. So if the pitchforks, the virtual pitchforks come out, the tomatoes are getting thrown, and everyone is heading for you, that's telling me, and I don't know, maybe I'm Pollyanna in a way. I am not taking it as everyone is specifically coming for you. I'm taking it as there is a higher level psyops happening to keep things status quo, and they're pushing the know nothings in that direction. Right? Oh, they're taking your games away. Oh, they want everything to be diversified. Oh, and then of course those who only read headlines, right, will pick up the virtual pitchforks and start the battle, even though realistically you can put it down because there's a billion other games right there that do exactly what you want, right? It tells me that they're just using y'all as beautiful fools to peddle a narrative.
Asante is so on point. So on point. I've never seen so many gullible people in my life. Like that's the part that freaks me out. Is like, we got the election coming up. I'm like, damn, these small suckers, they vote. Yeah. I'm like, these people got kids. These people got relationships, and they out here still assing it. And I'm like, yo, y'all are killing me out here, because this is the energy that you need to drive towards a message that doesn't land anywhere. You're gonna have all of those characters. You're gonna have the big booty, big breast, jiggle physics. You're gonna have the Abbeys from Last of Us. You're gonna have, all of these things. But it does talk to what Asante was talking about, which is people don't want anything different until they have something different.
Right.
And they've gotten different for a decade. And didn't fuss and didn't complain about it until very recently. And that seems to correlate with exactly what Asante is talking about. Very, very close to that in a real way. So
yeah, they throwing my girl Senua into the mix now. I'm like, y'all need to shut the fuck up now. Like, it's like, bruh, y'all didn't say nothing about Hellblade 1.
True.
And then here y'all are. God, it's gotten
Spider-Man.
Like,
her chin is boxy. And I'm like, y'all don't.
I'm sure that person exists.
Right, like that's probably.
No, she definitely exists.
Yeah,
Aloy exists. She's a Dutch girl. I've actually met the model that plays. She's a Dutch girl. She sounds nothing like her. That's the only part that bugs me. Like her voice is completely different than. Yeah. But the person is a real human, and she looks exactly like that. And she's out there doing her thing. She's actually a movie star in the Netherlands. But yes, they exist. But for some reason, people like a quick example, the Spider-Man, the Star Wars one that people are calling. Yeah, I just saw that as. I'm sorry, I just saw that as like bad graphics, bro. It looked like the graphics.
They cherry pick. They cherry pick where they want to. That's why you.
Game looks fun though.
Yeah. You see the same picture of the Fable girl. You see the same picture of the protagonist of the Star Wars Outlaws. They just cherry pick this shit to push a narrative. I don't know what they want the end game to be. Like,
Right.
Like,
It doesn't
what?
exist. I don't think it does.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Mhm.
They want Playboy model. They want old. They want 90s, 2000s Playboy model, or not
It
even. You know what?
exists.
Not even.
Still.
But you know, here's the funny thing about all of that, right? You never see anybody thick.
No.
You
Oh,
damn sure don't
Loba.
see any. You damn sure don't
Loba.
see no who.
Loba from
Loba
Apex.
was thick, but they
Yeah.
but they didn't beef about Loba.
That's true.
Right, they didn't. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's that stuff of like, and you know, and of course, like everyone has their likes and their dislikes, all of that stuff, right? I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yum for whatever they like and all those things, but it is one of those conversations of like, it is very selective about who and what they police,
Yes.
and that part is very, very interesting. When you put a black body in a game, people get mad. You show somebody thick, oh, they fat, and I'm like, but culturally, there's a difference. Right,
Yeah.
in the way that we all look at those conversations, right? So it winds up being, again, why I think it's so important to have various people in the room, because you get to have that cultural thing of like, I remember Fortnite, when Fortnite first came out and Fortnite was doing Save the World, and they hadn't done Battle Royale yet.
Yep.
You know who everybody was like, yo, who this? Was the chubby blonde chick who was thick.
Okay. Yeah.
that was
yeah.
one of the first characters out there, and everybody was like, "Yo, all right, they finally put a thick shorty into one of these games. That's kind of cool." And
Right.
now we're going back to some weird Eurocentric style of beauty that people must potentially kind of want, or it's either super Eurocentric in that way, or it's like Japanese e-girl kind of stuff. There is no in between. Anybody else is
Yeah.
not sexy or not attractive to these folks. So it's weird. It's really weird.
I like my muscle mommies like Abby. You feel me?
I ain't
Like,
mad at it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro.
I ain't mad at all.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Give me a
Just,
CrossFit shorty. I'm like, yo, what the deal be?
the space has been absolutely wild when it comes to all this shit, man. But I want to thank you for your work that you do in the DEI space.
Very important.
And yeah, man, we do need more people in the room. So while we're still on this topic, before we move on, we have a lot of people, like when we have game developers on, when we have journalists on, we like to ask the guests how they got into the space and what advice do they have for them if they want to get into your niche of the space, because there's so many different ways to get in. It's just not game dev, right? There's music, there's sound, there's voice acting, there's DEI consulting, so many ways to get into the gaming industry. So like, what advice would you have for a young Kahlief watching right now, or probably somebody the same age?
Shit,
So,
young Kyle tells stop wearing so many damn hats because your hair's gonna fall out. But I would tell people, like, I got into the gaming industry by my the podcast was the thing that got me into the gaming industry proper. Like, of course, I had like 10 years of IT work. I did IT work when I was back home in New York. I did that for a long period of time. I was always a fan of it and you know, fan of technology, all that kind of stuff. But like the podcast was the thing, creating content was the thing that got me into my first job at Intel.
Okay.
And then, you know, that kind of proliferated for me to be able to kind of make some moves in those spaces and network with people. Networking is the biggest part of all of it, to be honest. Like,
Right.
there was the hard thing for young folks right now is like the space, especially with the pandemic, there was a big, long piece of time where networking face to face was just not a thing you could do.
Right.
Every move that I've made, every deal that I've done, every contract that has ever gotten signed is because I've shook someone's hand and looked them in the eye and told them about what I do. And you can do some of that stuff virtually and you can continue to kind of move in those spaces, but you really got to get out there and do some of that work. I was lucky enough when I moved to the West Coast that became a little bit easier, but it is a thing where you got to go to the PAXs. You got to go to shows also that aren't just gaming endemic. Like, you should be going to GDC if you can get a press pass to go talk to developers. Go to what's the one in Vegas all the time that happens at the beginning of the year with all the not Dice, the tech one. There's like the big tech one.
CES.
CES.
Oh,
Like, go to
CES.
CES.
Yeah.
Like go to CES. Like CES. Like all of those pieces are really important because you get to learn how to network. 2, you get to learn how to look somebody in the face and pitch yourself. And then 3, you get a chance to really hone the craft of what does it mean to be a professional doing this kind of work and learning about those pieces. So I would say, yeah, it's get out there, make some dope stuff. That's an easy way now these days to kind of move in those directions. But like, you got to get your feet on the ground and got to go talk to people and let them know why you want to do this kind of work.
So another follow-up question that pertains to us, because I work a pretty high management position, and whenever I'm in meetings, I'm the only one, right? So as somebody that's in this space, and it's barely any of us, right? We know we wear many masks, right? As black folks. So how do you handle that being in these spaces?
I'll tell a really fast story. I was going back to Intel. It was a young cat who was in orientation with me, and he was saying in that first couple of weeks, he was like, "Yo, Ka, I moved up to Oregon to be at Intel, and I want to do this work. I'm also like one person in this room in a sea of white. I'm the only black kid here, and I'm starting to feel like I need to leave and I need to dip." And I was like, first of all, don't leave because you're needed. And he was like, I don't understand what that means. And I was like, you have to understand that you bring a perspective that no one else in this room can do, or no one else in this room has. And that makes you valuable in ways you can't understand. If you start to really think about what that means, that's the way I think about my position, whether that be in the media space, whether that be in the corporate space, whether that be at a game studio. Me just being there adds value. Blackness adds value. Black perspectives add value. People forget that all the time because it is like everybody's looking at me and I feel weird but like you gotta absorb that. And some people can't because you don't want to feel like the token. And you also don't want to feel like the person who is the representative, like we talked about. You don't want to do the Negro Highlanderism version of it either. You know what I mean? You don't want that to be the case either.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand that like you have value through your experiences. It is a reflection of the world that you live in that you can then turn and show a mirror to people and say, oh, you're not marketing to black people. Oh, you're not talking to people in an authentic black voice. Again, the variations of what those may be. You're not paying attention to what's happening culturally in this moment because you don't live it. You're not involved with it. You're not touching it. You don't even see it. Right?
Yeah.
So I think those are the things that when you think about why and what is the thing that brings you value, you're constantly evaluating what that means. And you're constantly looking at the space to say, how can I be of use here? I am a go-between a lot between our community and the gaming industry, and people don't like that, and people kind of hate on that sometimes. And it's a lot of burden to bear because I don't want to give other people a version that doesn't feel authentic. But I always lean in with the idea of I am not the representative of all of blackness. It is not a monolith. I'm giving you Khalief, and my grew up in the Bronx in the early 80s and 90s and stuff. That is, and lived a life. Right. But here are all these other black people that you should be talking to. And you should hire some of these people. You should pull some of these people in so that we can have a much fuller conversation across all of these different ethnicities and groups and races and people. So it's a much bigger conversation than just that. But it is you have value in who you are and your experiences. Make sure you celebrate that and talk about that everywhere you go.
Ooh. That's beautiful.
Bars. Preach on, Khalief.
Yeah.
Shout out to the 101 people here. Y'all hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate that, man.
Please and thank you.
Lotus Esprit dropped another $5 super sticker.
Hey. Thank you, Lotus.
Thank you.
Love you.
For the kids.
Adidas 20 says, "Hey ponies, he talking console sales." Microsoft did not become $1 trillion off hardware sales. Hint, hint. He said it's a software company, baby. That's where we making our money.
Yeah.
Thanks for the 5, Adidas. Appreciate that, Kinfolk. Adidas always be going off, bro. He do. So let's go ahead and move on. Unless you guys have anything to say before we move on to the next topic?
Nah, man.
Oh no, I think Kahlief laid it out rather well. Let's
Perfect.
He put the bow on it.
That's right.
Yes.
All right, Black Skull, you got the last topic for the day.
All right, for the day, the last one. Let's talk about some Dead Space. Let's talk about it. So recently in an interview, Jeff Grubb spoke about EA Motive, who they made Dead Space Remake, the first one, moving over to work on the Battlefield franchise. And EA came out and said, no, what you're saying is not true. That is not it. Jeff Grubb comes back, doubles down, saying, I give you my permission to believe EA if you want, but whenever a company says that isn't true, but they don't specify which part of the story that they're talking about, well, ... yeah, end quote. That's how he put it. Fair statement. He then states they were working on Dead Space 2 and that they are no longer working on it. It is on the shelf because the first game had lackluster sales. So if you were looking forward to Dead Space 2, it's bad news. It's straight up bad news. And they said EA Motive will now go on to pretty much work on Iron Man and Battlefield going forward. Asante, I'll start with you. What are your initial thoughts on the debacle going on?
Honestly, I am not surprised in the least. My first question would be, does that Iron Man have any kind of macro transactions or seasons or any of that continuing? I have said it in the space when folks are talking about exclusives being non-exclusive anymore. I'll say it in this space. We are the horseshoe makers, ladies and gentlemen. And the Jetsons just entered the upper atmosphere. We are dead. It's over. It's a wrap. Just let it go.
Listen, chat. The first time me and Asante was on the podcast together, he called me that, a horseshoe maker. I almost punched him. Like through the screen.
But it's true, though. But
listen,
right?
Everything that's been happening throughout the last few months, this Negro called it.
I swear I'm going to put on that hat. I'm telling you, no, it's just the world we live in right now, right? I look at my kids; they don't care about any of this stuff, right? All they care about is being able to continue that world that they live in, right? We're the ones that love that beginning, middle, and end, right? And I'm sure if you look at the sales, we really love the hell out of that game, but it's not enough for sustainability in the world that we live now, right? What we can do is hope that there's a smattering of games that we still appreciate, because at some point, every game will be Fortnite or will be in Fortnite. And that's all you will have, not specifically Fortnite, but Fortnite-esque, if you will, right? Because that's the world that drives the revenue at this point. Right?
I think Sarah Bond said that in her latest leaked email about those being the black hole games, and it's very hard to develop games to pull attention away to other ones.
Exactly, absolutely, and that was during the conversation where they were showing like the top hits on all the various platforms. How many black hole games does Microsoft have right now? They have a lot of black hole games,
quite a bit,
on everybody else's platform. So again, horseshoe makers we are, I said. At some point, there will be none of this for us anymore because we will age out. They've stopped looking at us, right? Every once in a while, you'll get a nice beginning, a middle, and an end, but then you have to go back to, they go back to the games that really keep making the revenue. So I think it's a little sad, I think when a game comes out that you really love it and show your attention to it and show the respect for it, because those things are becoming fewer and far between. Like it is what it is. That's why you'll see me anywhere you hear me speak. I will talk always about the great indie that's available, the company, the team that literally will eat from the money that you give them, right? Because those are the only ones that are actually the future of the ecosystem and the games that we love. And by we, I'm talking about the weekend warrior that will knock out like Spider-Man 2 and go, oh, that was great, and then move on, right? Because most people aren't that way anymore. They're like, let's go back to Fortnite. Let's go back to Call of Duty season 1800. Like, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Right? It's just the way it is. So I am not surprised, you know, and of course, this being EA, why would you be surprised? You know, they are there to make the monies, you know. There are some of them out there who are kind of hedging bets and doing both sides of the house. Some like EA are just straight up like, that's what we're here for, right? I'm surprised that they're still doing some of these Star Wars games that have beginning, middle, and ends. I'm like, I would expect there to be a MOBA or basically an MMO of some kind, which they have many of them on PC, right? I would expect that to be the norm now. Because at the end of the day, that's what produces the money. And there's no pesky owning of anything. They decide everything, and you just either partake, give us your money, or you keep it moving. That is the ideal scenario for them. And we are not from that ilk. We want to own things. You know, They throw frisbees at us. They tell us it's a game, and we go, "Yay!" You forget that it's just a hex code that's in there. You know what I mean? Like, horseshoe makers, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
So good.
It is what it is.
And we are the horseshoe makers.
Yeah, man. 100%. To be honest, man, like I feel like the whole time we were talking about the future and it's like all turning into live service games, man. I feel like in the next, if that happens, I'm gonna be a back in my day ass dude. I swear, bro. I can't just play all live service games and like don't have a storyline and plot and just battle passes everywhere, bro. I can't.
To me, I'm the biggest Halo fan out there. Like you'll see Master Chief paraphernalia peppered throughout my home. But to me, Halo is dead until I get another campaign. It just is what it is. But that's me. You know what I mean? But I appreciate y'all who can do that. I'm a dad. I have a busy work schedule and whatnot. No one wants to game with me because I can only game at 4 a.m. Like, you know, so a beginning, a middle, and an end works for me, right? And it does for lots of people because that's just the way we, 43-year-old man, #graybeards. Like we here, but we're not going to be here for too much longer in comparison to the youngins who are out here who want to play on a tablet. You know, who don't care about ownership, who don't care about storylines. They just want to keep building their villages in wherever game they choose to do it. It is what it is.
And they don't care about spending thousands on V-Bucks. So it's a wrap for us, man.
You know,
it's not looking so good. Kahlief, I ask you the same question. What do you think about this debacle going on?
Before you answer,
go ahead.
Paris had a little something to say.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
So I blame Kyle for having Moses put that line of Dead Space remake.
First of all, I didn't have them put it in. That was a beautiful surprise. For the folks who may not know, there's an Easter egg with me in it in Dead Space, which is great. It says "Ka can't cook" in the bathroom where there's a dead body, which is from Paris's food. But I got a chance to work on the game as EA had a creator council. They had a whole bunch of folks who really are big fans of Dead Space from various or horror fans, so they kind of all came together to kind of help influence the way the game was made in terms of nailing parts that they had kind of had in the way that they wanted to design it. And yeah, you're right. Like live service games are hard to continue to make. We've seen that on the PlayStation side, and them kind of have some contrition about what they're going to do there. Microsoft is still trying to figure that out because they've bought a bunch of studios that do a lot of live service stuff, Call of Duty being one of the biggest ones on the planet. We've also seen another conversation around like the smaller games really becoming a thing that people are asking for, of like, we would much rather get a 20-hour game than a 40-hour game, which is a part of that conversation. In the grand scheme, I'm just sad that we're not going to get what would be my favorite Dead Space. And knowing how well, like, the thing I think that I hope people will understand is like the Motive team, especially the ones who worked on this remake, they really dug into the weeds to make sure this game was different and was good and was fantastic and did all the fan servicey stuff while also laying on top of it some interesting new tech that wasn't in the game before. But the vibe that I always had when we would go into meetings with the team was like, this was kind of a one-off. Like this always felt like a love letter to the fans that they had to fight to get to make in the first place. It never felt like there was a much larger plan to be able to be like, well, if like, of course, every game, if you sell well, then you get the chance to potentially make the next version of it. But this felt like a game that was very much, if we get to do this, this will may be the only version that we get a chance to do. Because we asked a lot of being like, you know, are you guys going to do 2? Like, is 2 going to be a thing? Is that ever going to be a thing that we get a chance to see? And the answer was always like, we don't even know. Like, we can't even call it. We were happy to get this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I hope that EA will reconsider. I think there's an audience for it, but it also goes back to a lot of conversations and pieces that you all talked about. This is the moment this is one of the most, vote with your wallet kinds of moments, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, for all the folks you talk about, all the things you don't get, and why physical media is gone, and how it sucks to have to go buy things on digital, and also the kind of stuff when you have these versions of remakes that are really well done, and if you don't spend the money to go buy it, then you can't really be mad when those games go away and they don't get made for the other version. So my hope is that people continue to grow on and be able to make games like this, but like, you got to spend your money on some of that stuff and make sure you pay to potentially get the new version that you want.
All right, speak with your wallet. That's how it is. Same thing with you, Nova. What do you think about the debacle?
It seemed like at first, like it's just somebody talking about, alleged rumors again, so I just didn't know whether it was true or not, but, to go back and forth with EA about it, I don't know, but he did say that if they say that it's not there, that it may be there, or it may once have been a thing. But I just hope that what Asante was talking about is not going to be the thing, man, because I didn't even think about that until the gentleman was talking about it today. Like, hey, are they going to take people off of some games that I may enjoy to put them on some games that I may not? But at the end of the day, that's just me thinking about myself, man. If there's a large market of younger people coming up and they want to play some Battlefield, and some other people that know better than me are directing, the ship in a different direction, that's all right, man. Because I honestly don't sit down and play video games for 8 to 10 hours a day anymore. I used to do that when I was a kid,
Sorry, Nova. I'm going to fight you on that one, because what do we used to say? We used to say, please take Vicarious Visions out of the sweatshop that is Call of Duty. Please. They're all going into the sweatshop, man. Come on. They're going into the sweatshops.
Yeah, man.
It sucks, man. It's happening. It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening. But I need to, man, like, to be honest, like, I feel like if I'm fighting back, I'll be like the other people that's complaining about my specific piece that's not there. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
Yeah, absolutely. The market is just turning somewhere else, and that's okay, man. As long as I still have my nestle, and I play classic games frequently. I'm sure you do, Asante. I see all your equipment you got back there. So I know you be going back. So yeah, maybe that's just what we're just going to be relegated to, and that's cool, man. As long as the youngins is having fun, and as long as the elderly is having fun, because they out there playing mobile games too, baby. You know what I'm saying? So let's not forget about them. So it ain't all about us no more. And I guess I am old because Final Fantasy VII, remember Viking? It's just what it is, bro. We just gonna have to do some exceptions.
I was like, Final Fantasy. Y'all almost threw the book at me when I said it was an old person.
Yeah, I was like, I put on my calendar. I was like, square up with Viking next time I see him.
The franchise is an old person's game, bro.
You're right, man.
Yeah,
you're right.
And that's why I think it was really smart. I'm gonna go off topic a little bit. Well, it's still on topic, but Fallout having a show that a lot of people can watch. People like my son's watching it, right? He's 15. Like, my son don't give a shit about no Fallout,
right,
or whatever. But him watching the show at that age, at 15, right, might let him get into Fallout 76 or Fallout 4 with the new update, right? Whenever the Fallout 5 comes out in 2033 or whatever, or whenever it comes out or whatever, he will attach it to that show
for sure,
opposed to it just being another series that he knows nothing about. And I feel the same way about Final Fantasy too, man. Like, I feel like we grew up with it, but younger kids care about that persona, baby. Like, that's what they love,
Persona is fire.
And I think some of us need to get off of our horse about some of these older franchises where we want to see remakes, and these companies have the data. There was like nobody under the age of 30 cares about this.
That's true.
So So why do it?
A Dead Space show would be so fire. I'm just thinking about that. That would be gas.
Dead Space anime?
No, I mean, well, they had an anime, I think, but
Dead
they
Space
had
shit?
they had like
really?
but I mean like a live action.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That'd be fire.
No, that would be fire, especially as horror, because the
Yeah.
sounds in Dead Space are so fucking good.
That's what we're missing. Kind of is a horror video game adaptation. Kind of.
Gears.
It kind of be Sunshine, the movie. Y'all remember Sunshine? Kind of like Sunshine.
Oh yeah. Silent Hill.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, had a thing
Silent-
for
yeah,
a
yeah.
minute, but it wasn't really good.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I'll give my little hot take on this for a second. Is the industry's changed so fucking quickly. It seems like when it does come to everybody is looking for the Fortnite bag. And when you go to one of these big publishers, like, well, yeah, we're gonna have to spend $300 million, but we'll only make 10, 20 million. They're gonna not greenlight that shit at all. You know what I mean? Like, where's the microtransactions? Like, how are we gonna keep the game alive and try to make it like that's what they go off of trends, and sometimes they're too late. We see live service games fail all the time. Or whatever, and it's sad, man, because like now that dev team has to pack it up because their publisher said we'll only greenlight this game if you add this, and this. And then plus, you had games like Callisto Protocol. I heard nothing. I've never played it, but I heard nothing but great things about it. It was a new IP, right? I heard it was really amazing, but it didn't sell shit, and you'll never get a 2, and that dev team is probably looking for work elsewhere, right? It's just a really sad state of affairs, man. Like, which is why I'm digging the indie stuff and the small teams. I fucking love Larian Studios. Love them. Tighten it. They don't want to be purchased. Like, you know, they have their own investments coming in from other places, but I think they're doing it right, man. Like, if anybody can learn from any studio that wants to grow, and because they're gamers, right?
Oh,
like through and through, and they like really like they'll take as much time as they need. I was on early access. Y'all probably bored to death of me telling y'all this, but I was in early access since the beginning, and they took feedback seriously, and they just but you had to buy the game though. Right, you had to buy it in early access for the full price, and they later, when the game fully released, gave you the deluxe edition if you did do that, which was really nice service to us.
That is cool.
But like, they took feedback very seriously. They had monthly blog posts and videos and shit about what they were working on. They slowly released classes and race. If anybody can learn from anybody, it's fucking Larian. I think they know what the fuck they're doing. And it is evident in BG3.
That game was so good, man.
Evident.
That's actually a good point, man, because if a lot of companies are afraid to take on like new IPs, the best thing to do is to generate the IP with the community that you're trying to create the game for. Right. So, you know, so if I have some type of impact on a final product, and you know, why not get the game? So that's a good idea. Instead of just taking a risk and just putting it out there.
And they were when I tell you they were very active, I think that's the most active community I've ever seen whenever it comes to taking feedback. And
Larian, isn't that like it? When I saw they got BG3, I was like, it makes absolute sense. You know, if you've played Divinity 1 and 2, it's basically it was their Sunset Overdrive to Spider-Man. You know, it was right there. Like, you know, it's excellent that they were able to continue that on. And if you haven't played Divinity 1 and 2, you need to play that.
I've played
amazing
2.
game.
It's so good.
Amazing. Both of them are like fantastic. You know, so it does make sense to allow those independent guys to push forward and to keep that energy. You know, I hope they get to continue to do that. You know?
Yes, 100%. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on the whole topic. What about you, Scale?
Yeah, I'm not surprised either, honestly. And not only that, I'm remake and remaster fatigued. So like, I really just brought this up for the debacleness. Because I wasn't probably, because I played Dead Space 1 and 2. So the remakes didn't interest me that much, except for they're just good games. I already know they're good games. So I was like, okay, cool. But Yeah, I'm not surprised. Business is business, and if they're not getting the money from it, I'm not going to greenlight it. It's just, and I just really agree that we're in that live service, the live service era, man. If it's not booming off that, it's going to be tough, man. I hope the Iron Man game is good though, and the battle. I hope those are cool. We'll see.
Yeah. One thing that I did notice about those two though is they didn't have a number after them, bro. You know, because you usually see like a Battlefield 35. You know what I mean? And that could be the future. We might just get straight Final Fantasy one day. Yeah, and it's live.
Straight Final Fantasy. This is your Final Fantasy. Yes.
Yep. It's coming.
Oh man. Let me grab these super chats and then we can be on our way, gentlemen. Spartan661 with the 20 bomb. Thank you, good sir. He says having a great cast for the Longhouse Podcast is amazing. Thank you all for your inputs. Thank you for what you do. Let the kids play. They won't know unless we teach them. Games are fun for everyone.
Right. Definitely.
And at the end of the day, that's what we're doing, right? We're just playing games.
We're just playing games.
We're trying to have fun, bro.
Right?
We're just playing games. Everything over 20 deserves a.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, here we go. Oh, that was weak. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on.
Oh, boy.
Oh, shit.
All right, that was a little better. The first one was shit.
One day when you do that, somebody should like play like a trumpet sound and just have it like,
bro, the internet will go crazy, baby. They would think it was really me too.
We gonna play the Tommy from Power Rangers noise. Megazord gonna come out.
Holy shit! My boy Gamsey said, "Yo, look at this beastly team. Get that horn out."
Love it.
That's right. It's horny fans over here, baby. Horn
Appreciate
hub all
you
day.
popping in on Tuesday, Games.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, definitely.
Gamsey was a beast, man.
Yeah, he did good.
He's always everywhere too. All right, so let's go ahead and get out of here. Asante, my good brother. Listen, chat. We got 91 people here. First of all, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if y'all need a good show on Saturday, and you also do one on, is it Monday?
We're doing Monday nights. Yeah, we're doing Monday nights.
That's right. Yeah. He runs a fantastic show called the Gaming Circle Podcast. I have all his stuff in the description below.
Thank you.
Asante, you are a, what do you call it? Mod, right? So you can put your link in the chat if you want. After you done letting the fine folks know where they can catch you.
Well, first and foremost, I have to thank you guys so much. It is wonderful to just be a panel member or just to be in the chat and listen to y'all. I lurk all the time, you know, working or catching an old episode. You guys do a great show. It's always fun, always informative. You know, you bring on the great guests. I appreciate y'all so much for what you brought to this space. And of course, being able to communicate with the great Kahlief Adams, brother.
That's right.
I tell you, like, and I say it in many places, you know, we step on the shoulders of giants, and I seriously consider you one of those folks that required viewing for many years of the Spawn on Me empire. You know, at this point, it is undeniable, right? So I appreciate you in this space and what you've been able to accomplish and what you continue to do in inspiring the rest of us to go and try and do even a small bit of that. So it's always amazing to be able to talk to you guys and to be able to talk to you, Khalief. It's been awesome. For me, you can find me as the Viking was saying. I do shows on Saturday mornings. We keep it PG-13. We say we're G.I. Joe. We shoot guns, but only lasers come out. We don't shoot. We keep it on the edge. So come check us out. GCP Gaming Circle Podcast. We try to keep it fun, have some grown man talk from time to time as well. We've touched on some touchy subjects that people have thrown some virtual tomatoes at us, but it's fine. We enjoy that stuff. And then of course Monday nights, myself and Mr. John Wolf, we speak a little bit more of the PC stuff. If you're joining the new handheld revolution, or you want to know why 30 frames is what's relegated the console, we will put our arms around you. We will explain why in the best way possible, and we will not make you feel like a troglodyte. We appreciate y'all coming. Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. No, I really appreciate you coming on. So I think I let you know like last week or something. He was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man.
Yes.
I appreciate the love, man. Mr. Kahlief Adams, it was such a pleasure having you on. Just like Asante said, you are required viewing. Like, drop your bars, man. Tell the people where they can find you, what you're working on, anything that you want, anything that you want to plug in there.
Well, first, I just got to give Brother Asante some love because I've been a fan of your work for a while. I also get the chance to lurk and listen and download the cast and make sure it's in my rotation at all times to make sure we get a chance to listen to all that goodness. So thank you, thank you for the kind words, and trust me, I'm right back at you with all the love right there. And for the rest of the team, thank you so much for having me. The thing that I come away from shows like this is always about it's so dope to have smart conversations in the space. I love being able to hear my brothers be able to break it down and talk about all these things in such a smart and fun way. We live in a space where smart content is not the wave right now.
Right.
It is not a thing that people care about. It is not a thing that people push up and lift up. So I want to thank you all for continuing to be really smart with the way you all think about and talk about the world of gaming and all the things that are in that space. So thank you again for that. You can check out my stuff. We usually drop every Monday. I've been lazy of late. I have not been putting out episodes as much as I need to. I need to drop some more stuff. But usually Monday is a day that you'd be able to go check out our new episodes. Check us out at twitch.tv/spawnonme to go check out the live show. We usually do those at 6 p.m. on Thursday evenings, PST. And check out the Spawnies. Spawnies again. We just did our third show. We had over 300,000 people watch it. It's been a project that is really, I think, catching some good wind behind it, and we're trying to figure out good ways to make it even better for year 4 towards next year. So you'll get that in February of next year. But word, thank you so much for having me and letting me rock and letting me talk about some medium ass. It's great.
No, man, thank you for at least emailing back. When I got the email back, he was like, I'm on my way back from GDC or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'll hit you up. I was like, that's love, man. We're a small channel. We're trying to grow. We just started December, though. So we're getting there, man. We're getting there. But I appreciate you coming on and gracing us with your presence and everything that you got to say, man. You're spot on. BLAQQ Scale. Tell them where they can find you, man.
What up? Nah, I go by BLAQQ SKELLINGTON. You can find me streaming Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and Twitch. Same name. You can find me on X. Same name. Shout out to Asante and Khalief. Appreciate y'all joining in, man. I get so much info from y'all, man. Y'all just left me speeches a few times. I'm like, they got it. They got it. I love it. So I just want to say appreciate all you guys. I appreciate all the donations and super chats and everything. That all goes to the kids. Can't wait to give them that new merch and swag. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Nova. Supernova gamer with the hard ER. Let's go. What you got?
He is I am him. But I just want to go into, man, thanking Kay for coming through again, man, with the technical prowess and the future telling, sir. So I'm definitely waiting on all these future predictions to come true. Except for the live service games. Please no. Please.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Negro Damas is never wrong.
Oh, I know. I know you're right, bro. I know you're right. And also shout out to you too, Kyle, for coming through, man. When Viking was reading, your accolades, what you've done and what you continue to do, man, is just drenched in Black excellence, man. And I feel blessed just to have both of you gentlemen here to come through. Everybody who was in chat, we got up to over 100 people in here tonight, man. So I'm just incredibly thankful. and to have my brothers, man. We just over here just talking about video games like we always do, man. So I just feel blessed. But last but not least, man, drink your water, treat everybody nice, and definitely last but not least, treat yourself nice, man, because you can't treat nobody else nice if you don't treat yourself nice. And that's my belief.
It's like the airplane, you know, you gotta put
can.
your mask on.
Put the mask
before
on.
You do the other, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You can do it, but it's unhealthy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all know where to find me, man. I'm on Twitter at the Black Viking 3. Twitter be on that bullshit, bro. Like nobody uses the regular Black Viking, and like I can't get it. I was like, where? What's happening? Again, this was an excellent show. Had some grown folk talk in this, which was great. Chat, you guys were amazing. All the donations and stuff were super, super great. Thank you for all the likes and subs for this episode. And I think we'll be out on that note, man. Y'all have any last words? Anything? All good?
Treat others as you want to be treated.
Facts.
You know that I'm not here to shit on you. That is what we were told. That's what we were taught. It's a great saying.
Yeah.
One that I learned in therapy though was treat others how they want to be treated. Right? Because we're all different. We all got our own
That's
love
true.
languages. We all got, you know, what you would like, I might not like. Right?
Treat people as assholes sometimes. Yeah.
All right, motherfuckers, we out. Peace out. Love you, chat. You know I can't leave all the way because I got to throw up the set.
Always.
Gang, you always got to throw that motherfucker up. Hit the wrong button, motherfucker. I hit the wrong button again.